Hey everybody, welcome to Hudson's House of Play. I am Miss Lynn and thanks for joining me for our craft tutorial today. This week we are talking about under the sea and today we learned about the crustacean. So for today's craft we are going to be making a lobster. Now what do we need for our craft today? Well, we're going to need an egg carton. An egg carton that is paper is usually best, but if you have a styrofoam egg carton, that's okay too. And what else would we need? You have a couple of options here. Miss Lynn has some toothpicks. I also have pipe cleaners. I have a piece of red paper, but you can use any color paper if you don't have red, that's fine. And our tools. We need our coloring tools, our glue, our scissors, tape, maybe a stapler, a pen, and these are items that you'll always have on hand for your craft tutorials. All right, let's get started. We are going to take apart the top of our egg carton, and we're going to be tearing out 1, 2, 3, 4 of the egg carton cups. You can tear or you can snip. If you don't use scissors often, then make sure you have adult supervision or someone to help you. And you want to be very careful, working nice and slow. Miss Lynn has these sort of peaks in her egg carton, so I'm just going to snip them off because we don't need them. And you can save the bits, maybe you can add them to your lobster at the end of the craft. So I'm just snipping away here so that I can make my egg carton nice and neat. Cut this one down. All right, I'll put those aside. Maybe I'll use them for something later. Okay, here we go. I am going to cut out 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm keeping this attached and I'll be cutting this whole piece out. So let's get started. You can use your scissors or again, you can tear with your hands. Just take your time. All right. I'm going to cut right through the box, through the carton here. Okay. I made little snips that'll make it easy for me to tear. There we go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't cut this one. I need to cut this so that I can tear it out easily. All right. And then I'll cut it from the bottom piece. And now I can tear it. Great. All right, I have my 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have any extra overhang, you can just cut it right off. This one has a few pieces that are just hanging out. All right, done. Now let me save this for later. We are going to actually cut 1 more cup out, and that is going to be for the claws if you choose to use that one for the claws. But we have a few different variations for our claws. So Miss Lynn will show you. Whoops, I rolled right off. I'll get that. Okay, now that we have our carton cut out, let me keep my space nice and neat. We need to paint in our egg carton. So let's do that. I'm going to be using red paint. If you would like, you can also use some markers or crayons. That would work as well. And I need my paintbrush, which is over here. Now that I have my egg carton, I'm going to paint it in red. I'm going to use the top of my egg carton as a little plate so that I don't make a big mess. Let's get the red paint, scoop some out, and just take your time covering the entire way all around. Each cup at a time, one at a time. And don't forget to cover the top. All right, I've got the first one done. And a brush is a good tool to use so that you can really get into all the corners of the egg carton. There we go. I'm moving on to my third cup of this egg carton, and I'm holding on to the bottom of my egg carton so that I don't get anything on my hands. But sometimes we do get a little paint on our hands, and that's okay. We could just wash it right off. And finally, oops, the last part. And if you have googly eyes at home, that would be a good addition for our lobster. But Miss Lynn is just going to be adding her eyes with some marker today since I don't have any googly eyes for today's craft. All right. Now my carton is all painted in. Hooray! I'm going to set this aside to dry, and I'm going to paint that single carton that I took out for the claw. And you may choose to use something else for your claw, but I'll just show you what we do if we are using another egg carton, another egg cup for the claw. So I'll have it ready to add on by color painting it all in. All right, top as well. There we go. Now this claw needs to dry a little bit as well alongside the body of our lobster. Okay guys, I'm gonna keep that over there. Let me put away my paint now that oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna be painting in my pipe cleaner. I forgot about the pipe cleaner. If you have a red pipe cleaner, great, then you don't have to paint it at all. But I'm gonna be using the pipe cleaner for my lobster's antennas. So I'm gonna paint these in. Let's use a little more paint and then I can put my paint away. Another great way to keep our table clean is using the carton to paint right on top of. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just wanna get a little coat of paint on there. I'm gonna flip this over and grab a little more paint for my antenna. This will be our lobster's antenna. Have you ever seen a lobster before? Maybe you've seen them in the supermarket when they have the lobsters in the fish tank. Or maybe you've been to an aquarium that had some lobster. Okay, I think this is good. And Miss Lynn's gonna have to wash her hands after this because I'm getting a lot of paint on my hands. That's okay. It's part of the craft. Okay, now I'm gonna put this away. Done. Next step. I'm gonna let this dry and I'm checking on my lobster. Here we go. It feels pretty dry. I think I can work with it now. So what are we gonna do? We are going to snip the end, either one or the other side, whichever one you decide, and it will become the tail. That means the opposite end will be the head. So choose which side you want to use, and I'll show you how we snip the tail. I'm going to make this the tail. So I am going to snip up the egg cup just across the top, halfway, like so. All right. And then I'm going to cut the sides here to release the cup. And I'll show you what that looks like. There we go. And now I have my tail. Check that out. If you want, you can cut it more in a angular shape. You can cut the extra pieces. I am just going to fold that part under so that you can see how the tail forms. Miss Lynn is just folding this part under. Now you can see the tail. Ta-da! Awesome, right? I have a little extra piece here that's just hanging off, so I'm gonna cut that out. All right. now that I have my tail ready to go, I'm gonna add the eyes to my lobster. So let's see the eyes of my lobster. Let me open my tail up a little bit here. I wanna make sure it's visible. There it is. I'm gonna add 2 eyes here using my black marker. Where did I put that? Ah, I got it. Oh, that's my pen. Here we go. My marker. And if you have those googly eyes, perfect. You can use your googly eyes. I just have my marker today, so I'm gonna go with that. And make sure you let the paint dry because it's tough to draw on paint that's wet, like Miss Lynn is trying to do. I need to get a little bit of the paint off of my marker and I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! I have 2 little eyes. I'll probably darken my eyes a little bit more once the paint dries better. Now let's check in with our antenna. How are we going to add this to the top of our lobster? Well, we're just going to bend it so that we have 2 antennas. And Miss Lynn's going to take her pen and I'm just going to poke a little hole. You can use a toothpick, you can use whatever you have. I'm just going to poke a little hole into the top of my egg cup, and then I'm going to stick the pipe cleaner right through. All right, working it through, just like that. And once you have that, you can fold the piece that's at the bottom under so that it stays in place. Now you can keep your antennas straight up, or maybe you curl them back like our lobster has sometimes. Whatever you decide, it's gonna look great. All right, Miss Lynn curled hers back just a little bit. And this is what it looks like so far. Check it out. Yeah, we've got our tail, just like that. We have our body. Now the best part, our claws. So you have the piece that we already colored in with paint or marker. If you use this, I'll show you what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna cut the entire piece in half, just like we did with the tail, but we're going all the way through. And one piece already looks like a claw. Whoa. And this one, Miss Lynn is just going to snip a little triangle out. And then you'll see we've got 2 claws. There it is. And we can add them onto our lobster using, we have a couple of options. So you can use your paper if you want to do this, and use the paper instead of the cups for your claw by cutting out a claw shape, or you can use some toothpicks where you will paint your toothpicks in, or you can use another set of pipe cleaners. So what Miss Lynn is going to do is I am going to use my toothpicks. I'm going to use my markers though to color in my toothpicks because that will be a lot easier. I'm still going to use my little container to do this though. So I'll show you what it looks like when you use toothpicks for the arms to attach to your lobster. And you can use something else too. You can use a Q-tip. We've used Q-tips before. And that's something that you probably want to use paint for. Or you can even leave it plain. But Miss Lynn likes the toothpicks because they are very easy to use. So I'm going to tape my toothpick onto my claw here. And you can actually just poke a hole through, but I want to make sure that it's nice and secure. So I'm going to be taping my toothpick onto my claw. Let's grab the tape. Here it is. And I'm going to add my toothpick right onto the tape, or right onto the cup. All right, now I have my one arm for my lobster ready to go. I'm going to add my second arm. got my 2 arms ready to go. I'm gonna move the paper. Now I'm gonna take my pen and poke a hole into my lobster so that I can add my arms to our lobster friend here. That's one. And oh, sometimes the carton is a little wet from the paint, so we can't get right through to it. Another reason why we need to wait for the paint to dry. There we go. And I have my lobster all ready to go. Look at this guy. I'm just gonna tape my arms onto our lobster so that it stays in place. That's one. And the other arm in. There we go. That's 2. All right. Now check out our lobster. Oh, now I'm gonna darken the eyes a little bit more. Now that the paint has dried some, all right. Here we have our very own crustacean. We made a lobster. You can always paint the underside if you really want to, but I don't think we need to. Look at that. We have his tail. We have the body, the head, the antenna, and the claws. Yay! And you can add anything else you'd like to your lobster to make it extra special. I'm gonna hang my lobster right here. This guy is looking so cute. Well, I hope you had fun making our lobster craft today. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye to all my friends. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again. From your place to my place, from your room to the classroom. Goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again.